Okay. I think I have this set up. Oh, that's a little too loud for me. It's a little too loud for me. I'll put up a little bit higher here. You know what? I don't think... Is this coming through? That's weird. Okay. Just trying to get some of the levels right. But, I'm going to turn that level down a little bit. Good morning. It's Monday. And I have been up since 1 o'clock this morning. I accidentally took my ADHD meds instead of my normal bedtime medicine. And because of that, I was having a very, very nice, peaceful night of sleep. And at 1 a.m., I woke up and was unable to fall back asleep again, as is the norm for when I've done that in the past. It has been a while since I have done that. And it sucks because I just physically cannot get back to sleep. Like, my body will not sleep. And I was having a nice... having a nice deep sleep, and my dog was being very snuggly last night, and which was just very, very nice because he's a snuggly guy. And yeah. And then at 1 a.m. I woke up. I was just like cruising on like Instagram and just trying to like do things that would help me go to sleep, and nothing was working. So I've been up since 1. But nothing I could do about that. So, what am I doing this morning? Well, this morning before, so I have my new rig. I fixed my my camera setup here. So, I don't know, you can kind of see it in the camera there, right there, but it's out of the way. I already stood up into it once. That was fun. So I finished this yesterday. I now have raised it up. It has 2 little knobs here that I can slide it back and forth on the, I'm going to move this over here so that way I'm actually like, when I'm looking at things, I can actually look kind of near the camera. But anyway, so I can move this in the Z axis now, which I think is going to be very helpful for not just painting and hanging out with friends, but also with doing D&D. And I have maps and things that I want to share. But anyway, what I'm using to suspend this, camera right here is the top part of a rig from like a cheap podcasting rig, and it actually came with this light. And I have a remote somewhere that actually hooks up to my phone, that if I had my phone hooked up to this, or my phone doesn't have to be hooked up to this, but I could actually just hit the start button and it record remotely. But anyway, it comes with this little light that you can see in both cameras, but it is battery operated, and because it's got a lot of LED lights in there that can get pretty bright, it burns through the batteries very quickly. So what I did is I took this apart to see what I could figure out about it, and yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it. I kind of marked this side a little bit because this is the side that's actually the positive and negative that's running to the chip that's controlling all this. So what I did is I ordered a 3-volt power adapter because it takes 2 AA's, and which is 3 volts. So I got a 3-volt power adapter. I'm going to solder that in tomorrow when it arrives. Put a little hole in this, and I'm going to run it over to my little switch bank over here. Can you see it? It's not quite. Okay. But I'm going to hook it up to my little switch bank here. So I have a use for one of these switches for more than just 2 of them. And then I'll be able to hook the light back up here on the top and have more light while I'm working. So anywho, that is the plan. And I'm trying to do this here. Can I see other things on this? I'm trying to get my... There we go. I'll get it set up right there. I'll get this set up right eventually. So anyway, the plan now is, well, macro, is to do the live stream every morning from 8 until 9. Because it's really the only time I can guarantee that I can actually do this. Where I don't have appointments. I'm not running around doing errands, having to deal with other things. And just kind of doing it to chat. And hang out and talk nerdy stuff. But what I'm going to do now... Is this the right brush I want? Base coating, yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put washes on my Anointed. And I got to figure out what I want to do here. Oh, and I built over the weekend, I built my new paint rack that you cannot see. We can kind of see it down here. But this is much, much better than what I was doing in this drawer. I rapidly outgrew. I have a drawer up here that I outgrew immediately. So I built this drawer down here so I could have someplace to put my paints. I outgrew that pretty quickly. So now we're on to this. And what washes am I? Well, obviously I'm going to be using a black wash. And I think I'm just going to start using... I want to use up the rest of this WizKids wash that I've had for a while. And that's a sepia wash. We'll use that on the... I want to start using that stuff up. I'll use that on the leather. And I want the flesh wash. No, I don't want the flesh wash. Yes, I do. I do want the flesh wash for the bone that I have right there on the horns. And man, I'm using a lot of these. Use a lot of different ones. Actually, I'm going to pretty much just use all of these. Use all of these washes here. I'm trying to be... I used to just dunk them in black. But I don't like that quite as much. And let's see here. Okay. Where do I want to start? Where do I want to start? I want to start with the bone on the helmet. I already did. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this adjustment right now. Because I can see already where I'm sitting is not going to work for this. But this, I can now slide this back here. And I got to remember not to stand up into the damn thing. There we go. But now when I'm looking at this, I need to get that wire secure. That's going to be something I do once I get the 3-volt adapter. But anyway, you can see this. Okay, so I've got these bones right here that I want to put the flesh wash on, the sepia wash, right? I want the flesh wash. I think I used the flesh wash on these claws here already. So I think I'm going to use the same one there. And I believe I used the red wash already on that. But I want to use it on everything. Anyway, so let's do this. Let us... Now, how come my thing keeps disappearing? There we go. That's what I want. I'm trying to make this a little easier. No! Why'd you do that? There we go. I'll just leave it like that. All right. I'm just trying to get my interface set up correctly here. Anyway, flesh wash. And I don't need a lot of it, so we're going to put just a little bit of it right there. Wash. And I need a little water here. Okay. And we are going to wash the horns now. I really want to get it down in those little grooves. Really make that stand out. There we go. Nice. Yeah, just to make it consistent. Okay. I was watching Alton Brown's... Not Alton Brown. Adam Savage's. Wow, that... I don't know where that came from. I was watching Adam Savage's videos when he did his one-day build of the AT-AT diorama. Diorama? I don't know. Anyway, watching him do that and just watching him, and I've seen him do it before when he paints, and he just, when he puts washes on, he does so with reckless abandon and glee. And I aspire for that level of gleefulness and joy. Just the unbridled joy he had with doing that. All right. What do I want to do here? Sepia. Mid-brown. Alright, we'll use the sepia for the leather. I'm going to use this, where did I just had it? Oh, it's right here, right? Mid-brown. There we go. I am curious as to why some of the Army Painter stuff comes with the bearing, and some of it does not. So, this morning, in addition to, because I had the time and nothing was open, and I wanted to just do something with my brain to keep moving, I was reading stuff about lore and the different chaos gods, so that way I could figure out what I wanted to do. Did that break? No. What I want to do with the faction, or the which of the gods that these guys worship. And I know they have rules. So, like, if I choose corn for any of them, I cannot have any of them be devotees of Slanesh, and vice versa. And thematically, I understand why. They have some interesting lore there. But I was also just looking at it like, oh, well, what do I want to do for my guys? Not just... I wanted to be more, I guess, thematically accurate with these. I didn't give much thought at all when I did the novitiates. I didn't give much thought at all when I did the Tau. I just did what I thought looked cool. And I wasn't really aware of all the backstory and everything, like how deep it got, how deep the lore got. So, when I'm doing these guys, I'm trying to be more conscious of that this time and make the decisions a little bit more carefully. Yeah, I'm just going to cover that up with black paint. I'll have to nuke some of this black back, but it'll be fine. So yeah, I'm trying to be more thoughtful about it. And looking at it, these guys are the color of the Black Legion. I've been calling them Black Legion. And the Black Legion worship Chaos Undivided. So, knowing that, I was trying to figure out what I want to do with the guys. I was going to have some of them be Cornites, devotees of corn. And then I realized, well, that doesn't really work because you have it could work. There's ways to make it work. But ultimately, Black Legion are Chaos Undivided. So with that in mind, I have made the decision. These guys will all be Chaos Undivided. And I'm going to commit to it. I'm actually going to put the stickers on. The little transfers, the decals on these guys. So I got to look up how to do that and do that well. And that'll be a little experiment there. So, but I'm going to get these washes on this guy here, who has a name now. I just forget what it is. I printed out the nameplates this morning as well on my 3D printer. I was very productive with my morning hours, I have to say. Too bad that I cannot delete the sleep subroutine. That would be very helpful. I'd get so much done. But I also enjoy sleep so very much. And I think the dogs would get bored of that real quick. So, but yeah, nameplates for these guys. The only regret I have with going with the black and gold on this, as cool as I think it looks, it's now as I'm working on it and I'm getting to this stage, I have not been able to do a good wash on the majority of the body armor. The majority of the armor. And I miss being able to do that because I think it makes it look so cool. It adds so much detail. But ace así que es. These guys will still look pretty badass. And maybe I'll do more Chaos Marines or just normal Marines, or I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I do know I'm going to be hitting pause on buying more figures. As much as I'm enjoying the process, one, I don't have a lot of space. So unless I figure out a better storage solution than the one behind me, I'm rapidly running out of room. So there's that. But I need to work on some terrain. I've got some Tinker Turf stuff that I like very much. And now with the printer, I can make really cool stuff that I tried making before and I just couldn't seem to get to work the right way. Oh, I like how the skull is turning out. Nice. Oh, his nose is getting clogged. Let's get you out of there. Let's clean out his nose. Come on, out of there. Get out of there. There we go. Pulling up a little too much in there. Gotta pick his nose now. But I am liking how the skull is turning out. That's some really nice detail on that. Some nice sculpting. Come on. But I want to make some Into the Dark turf. Some boarding action turf. I think that'd be really fun to do. Oh, pulling up there. Don't pull up there. There we go. Okay, that's the underside. I don't worry about that too much. And it's pulling up a lot though. I don't want it to pull up quite that much. Same thing here. Okay. So we're gonna do this. We're going to the chest plate. I'm gonna need to get some more wash on here soon. Ooh, there we go. I do like how this mid brown works with the brass color. I definitely need to get more now. This mid brown works really, really nice with the brass. They complement each other very nicely. So, I was also pretty psyched to see that Adam Savage uses Vallejo. He used Vallejo. He really likes the Vallejo paints, and he was using a Vallejo wash on his AT-AT, and it looked beautiful. It was very, very cool. It's a cool thing to see. So, okay, this is actually working out pretty well camera-wise too, I think. Alright, we're gonna bring that out. That's alright, we'll just do this. Yeah, it's actually working well with the rusted metal there too. Or I guess it's rusty iron or something iron. Okay. We're going to use sepia for this. We're going to use sepia for the leather. I don't know if it'll make that much of a difference. But we'll see. Well, that much of a difference compared to the mid brown that I'm using now. I just don't know. Only one way to find out. Okay. And this is a far cry from when I first started doing the D&D minis, where I would just use a black wash on everything. Basically just dunk it. And it looked okay. It looked okay. It wasn't great. It did the job. It got the details out, but they just looked kind of dirty and grimy and not like in an intentional way. And I do think intention matters. It's what I tell my voiceover students, is that intention matters. Because if we're doing voiceover, and one of the things we try to do is have smooth delivery of our lines without pauses. And pauses should be very, very intentional, and we should be very judicious with them. We should not overuse them at all. So it's one of those things that I feel like if you do it on purpose, if there's things that are showing up in your voiceover work that would be considered not against the rules, because there really aren't very many rules, more guidelines really. But if you have something in there, I tell them if they have something in there that's not like the ideal technique, but it's intentional and it makes sense, well then you might be all right with it. Because it was a choice as opposed to just not having good technique. So it's kind of like using very conversational, colloquial language. If you just do it and don't give any thought to it, it's not going to sound great. It's going to sound amateurish in the work. But if you do it intentionally, the intention, I think, comes through, and it can sound very different. Just one guy's opinion, though. I'm sure there's others that would have a different opinion, and they are welcome to it. Because I think there's very few people who are truly like the end-all be-all when it comes to like the final word in voiceover work. I think there's so much subjectivity there's just so much subjectivity I mean, it's any creative field really, but still. I don't like how much that bled over. Can I get rid of that? Can I wick some of that up? Is it just going to make it worse? I think it's going to make it worse. I have to go back and hit this with black again. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and blast that with black. Oh, well. Okay. Just keep an eye on the time, too, because I have pickups that I need to do today. Ooh, I need to fix that. I have pickups that I need to do today to finish a project so I can turn that in and get paid on it, which is always the best thing. Getting paid for the work. And I've got some rover appointments, and I've got some coaching appointments. Oh, there's some more right there. Okay. Make sure I'm just getting all of the gold and brass in the same. I'm going to hit this silver with the black wash when I'm done with this. of this. Get all of that. There we go. Get that. There we go. And you. Okay. We gotta get back here just to give it an even coat. Okay, I think I got all of the... Oh, no, I didn't get his face. Oopsie. Okay. Still doing good. Okay, so yeah, we gotta get this stuff here. Ah! I want to avoid the eyes, though. Because I like the color I have on the eyes, so I don't want to screw with that because it looks really cool. Okay, that's that iron, so I can hit that with the wash. Alright, I think I got everything on the gold there. I gotta get the back though, right? Because it comes back here. Yes, it does. Oh, yikes. That got away from me a little bit. Okay, now I think I have all the gold done. Yeah. Okay. And I have an idea for what I want to do at the base now. I kind of had a bit of a brainstorm over the weekend. I need to see what I have on my sprues though, to see if that'll work. All right, where am I doing here? Yeah, we'll just use the black wash next. There's not a lot of it. Not a lot that I need to do. Not a lot. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Little black. You know, I'll pull this into the frame a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing here. I don't know if it's going to help, but I'll do it anyway. My wet palette here. It's getting time to change that paper, I think. Let's see. Man, you can definitely tell the difference between the WizKids and the Army Painter stuff. I mean, WizKids is nice enough, but I'm way over there. I'm not even thinking what I'm doing right here. Sorry about that. That's not very good video right there. Here, watch my shoulder. That's awesome, right? I do want to get it in there. I did hollow this one out with my pin vise. Might have gotten a little overzealous with this one. But it's okay. It doesn't really show that much. I mean, don't think it's going to win any competitions, but that's okay. That's not what I'm really doing it for. Okay. Oh, get that right there. Definitely get that. That would be in the shade. Okay, do I have enough? Okay, so we have that. Oh, I want to hit that. Okay, I'm going to hit some of this stuff up here. I want to hit this blue wire here with have it on two sides here. I'm just going to hit that with the black as well. And actually, I might just get some of it down all the way in there. Just to kind of take... I couldn't get the gray out of that. I'm not wild about how that looks from this angle. And it's an angle that shows, which bugs me even more. And why am I getting buzzed? Oh, The wife is texting me. My wife is texting me. I should check that in a second here. So let me check that right now. I'm sure everything's fine. I just texted her about. Yep. Okay. Yep. So another thing I got accomplished this morning is I paid my quarterly estimated taxes to the city of Philadelphia and the state of Pennsylvania, which is one of the things you have to do when you're a freelancer. Or rather, if you owe city or state taxes and your employer does not take them out automatically, you have to pay in advance your estimated taxes. So, yeah, I don't want to incur any kind of fees or fines or penalties, so I get on that. But it's also nice because it acts as I think it acts as a federal tax deduction. Prepaid taxes do. And I suppose I could prepay my federal taxes as well, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a big benefit on that front. I want to get the shine out of these guys, out of these little jets right here, because I do want to try doing a heat thing, a heat ring. God, okay, Brian, pay attention to where the camera is. I keep coming off to my one side here. I don't know why. I'm sorry. That's not helpful for anyone. I'm not sure how many people will actually watch this, but if you want to, you should be able to see what I'm doing, right? Alright, so I got the wash on this guy. Oh, I gotta get the wash on these guys. Oh, I gotta get on these spikes here. You know, we're just gonna wash the entire thing here. I'm just gonna wash. We'll wipe out. I'm just gonna see what happens. I've never done this before like this. Oh, I gotta get that red. That's next. And maybe we'll do red last. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and let that do its thing. I'm going to paint this whole leg. I'm going to just wash this entire leg. I want to see what it looks like when I do the black on black. I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe it'll look good. Maybe it'll look like crap. I don't know. We'll find out. Well, I see now I'm like right where my picture is. Yeah, this is going to take some getting used to. So that I'm not hiding what I'm doing. Again, for the 3 people who over the course of several years might see this by accident at some point. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, do I have any other? Oh, I'm gonna hit this with the black. Hit that with the black. Okay, I think I'm good with the black wash. Am I? I'm not. I want to get this in here even more. I really want to hit this hard. I want those details to really pop out. And I think the only way to do that is to really zealously wash that. I don't need it right there though. Again, Brian, get over here. Let's see. Okay. Just to make it match up a little bit better. I did see a video came up yesterday of Henry Cavill talking about how much he loves Warhammer. And that just for some reason just brings joy to my heart. Okay, what's next? on this guy. It's coming along quite nicely so far. I always like it when the washes get on there. I think that really helps. It really starts to really bring it to life with all those details and everything. So we'll see if we can bring it up. Nah, it won't really help yet. It's too small. So I'll back it off a little bit. And so, okay. All right, where are we at? Okay, let's do the sepia. All right, we're going to do the sepia wash. We only need a tiny bit of that. Because I've only got like one thing or two little things that need it. And then we will move on to the military green shader for the one pouch that I have. There we go. This is where we're going to use the sepia. Yeah, I like that better than the mid brown, I think. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Maybe I don't like this. It's not bringing out the details the same way I thought it would. Now, granted, there's not a lot of detail there. I don't know if that's just from the mold or if I was a little too zealous with the paint. I don't know. Maybe from a little from column A and a little from column B. I do have a big gap back here, just from the model, from a mold line here. I'm not wild about that. I think it's from where the legs came together, and there's nothing to really cover it. So I'm not terribly wild about how that turned out. In the future, that might be a green stuff situation. I don't know. Really got to figure out how to get myself situated the right way so it's a lot easier to repeat. I will say this is much, much better, for me anyway, than the way I had it set up on Friday. Much happier with this setup. Because I don't feel as hunched over. I feel like I can have better posture so it's not as bad on my back. And I'm not like in a leaning way forward, so I can actually have the figure close to my face so I can see it. Alright, so I got 2 more washes to put on here. And then my guess is that it's way too much. My guess is that I'm gonna have enough time to start working on another one. And I'm debating whether I want to switch over. Actually, I'm not debating. I'm going to keep up with the Legionaries. And here's why. There we go. Oh, I like that. That's got a nice little flavor to it. I'm gonna do at least one more Legionary because I want to use. Yeah, I like that. Look how that turned. Oh, can you see it? It's kind of tough to see. It's gonna be really hard to see because it's so light, but it's tough to see that green pouch. I really like that, the way that the wash is sitting in there. It really gives that some texture. That's really nice. Let's get a little bit more behind it though. I want to get some really fun colors for the Corsairs. Ooh, get underneath. So I've got some ideas. I want to try out some of the Turbo Dork colors. I'm really thinking that for, what's a good example here? This gentleman right here. This gentleman right here. Well, at least for the guns. And maybe some of the helmets. An pearlescent, color on some of the stuff I think would look very cool. But I really want to think about what I'm doing because these guys have a lot of little details. So I want to give these a lot of thought. So I want to do some more research too on the different factions so I can, again, treat that as an exercise. And, oh, I need to hit black on that stone. I almost forgot. Oh, there we go. I found a couple more things I need to use the black on. I'm going to try something now. That's the red. So this is the black here. All right, so the black needs to go here. I almost forgot that. Take the shine off of that. Okay. Yeah, we need to put the black on this, I think. Yep. We're going to come back. I have some ideas for this guy. I really... Oh, and that skull right there. I almost forgot the skull. Can't forget the skull. That just would not do. That would not do at all. Really want to get that in there. Boom. Really get those details. There we go. Get those ridges to come out. It's got some fun ridges. It's a nice looking little piece right there. I want to make sure. No, I don't want to go too much. There we go. Yeah, like that. I'm not convinced that there's a piece back here that is not something more than just a piece of rock, because it's got some detail in there, and I don't know if it's mold stuff or if it's supposed to be like a piece of equipment. All right, where's my flesh wash? I think the flesh wash was it was this one right here. About right. A little bit more of that. We need that to really. We're not seeing the details the way I want to see them. So yeah. Get in there. There we go. I really want to open up because he's got a blast. He's got an exit wound in the back of the skull here. So I really want to make sure those details are coming out. And I think when I highlight that, that's really going to pop. Okay, now I can move on to the red and do his tabard here. There we go. Okay. Get it all nice and there we go. Really want to see if I can get it in there. See if I can pack it in to this deep end here. See, I don't mind if it pulls a little bit more there. There we go. I think it's going to add some depth there. That's way far back there, so that's going to be super shaded. See if I can get in there. There we go. Get in there. Get in there. I feel like there's more I could be doing with the shading side of things other than just washes. My guess is that I should be hitting these with maybe more, like actually hitting it with a darker color. But I don't. So, oh well. Oh well. Alright. So we got 15 more minutes that I've allotted for my nerd time this morning. Part of the reason why I want to do things this way, of doing a chat every morning, regardless if anyone shows up, is then I'm kind of holding myself accountable for how much time I'm spending on this stuff when I know I've got other things that need to get done. Okay. pretty happy with how this guy's turning out. I'll get a picture of this and put it up on my Instagram when I wrap up the stream. Actually, I'll get a picture right now. Let's see if I can do it this way. So, one of the things I still need to do is see if I can't figure out why my one part of a stand is not printing out. I've got all the other pieces over here, and I think I've got a solid design. I don't understand why it won't work. Okay, so I'm going to get a picture here of... See, I'm going to turn this off. I don't quite like that quite bright light on there. Come on. Actually, let me do it this way. There we go. Try doing it without that on, Brian. It's like, why was it all fuzzy? So that's just with the shading on it. I'll put that up on my Instagram a little bit later. Pretty happy with where he is now. So I'm going to let all of this dry before I do anything else with it. Now, in the meantime... Yeah, I don't want to touch the Corsairs yet. Here, we're going to start working on this guy. And I'm going to try something very different with this one. So this is the... Chosen. This is the Chosen. One of the leaders. Right now, the leader I've initially intended to use is the Aspiring Champion. But this guy, I'm going to try something different. And is it still... it's not really paint. Is it really? No. That really dried up, didn't it? Okay. All right, so let's put you guys away. Let's put our toys away here. I am really liking this rack so far. Everything is easy to see, easy to find. I'm not rooting around, just look at the tops of bottles, wondering what's what. All right, now I'm going to try something here. Where I'm just going to give this a good dry brush. In white before I paint it, and then I'm going to paint over the white in hopes that that actually picks up. Oh, guten Morgen! Oh, I missed you. I am so sorry. Oh, man. Someone was chatting with me. I wasn't even paying attention. I apologize. Blood for the blood god. I am so sorry, Mr. Brotman. Guten Tag, guten Morgen. Wie geht's? Bis später. I should set up like a tone or something when something comes in. I gotta play with the stream a little bit more. Alright. But here, we're gonna try something. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna try it on this guy. I'm taking that back. I'm gonna try it on the gunner. Because if I mess that up, I think it's gonna be a lot more work to undo it. Whereas this guy... I think it'll be a little bit better. Alright, so we got my brush loaded up. Okay. Oh. So the idea is I want it to be thin. I mean, not too thick, but I'm going in one direction. I'm going in one direction. Oh, helps if I do this do it on the stream. It's probably a little too thick still. But the idea is that this is going to simulate the light hitting it as the base coat. And then as I paint over it, now the black is going to nuke it, obviously. you know, the black will get nuked, will nuke the white right away, but the other colors, in theory, it's still very thick. Don't want it quite that. Nah, not quite that. Come on, here we go. That's better. The idea is we pick up the edges now. Which should hopefully then translate later into those highlights being, it just changed, even the base coat looking a little more, the base coat itself changing. That where it goes over the white, it would be a little bit brighter or a little bit lighter at any rate. That's the theory, at any rate. So we're going to just give that a quick... I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't see Dan there. I'll have to maybe... I don't know if I can reply to him or something after the chat's over. I'll have to see. This is all kind of new for me. Okay, so this is a real sloppy... a real sloppy take on what we will be doing here. So the idea is that this is, and it's a very heavy dry brushing, I freely admit. I feel like that needs a little bit more. There we go. Because based on where it is, that would actually be picking up the light a little bit more. So, hey! Okay, how are you? What's up, dude? I am so sorry. Like, I see you chatting in there. I'm like, oh, I missed him. Yes, city wage tax, blah. It is not awesome. But, yes, and blood for the blood god. Here we go. I think that's... We're going to see. We will see how that works. I don't think I'm going to get too started on this today. I don't want to get... Because I know it'll happen. If I start painting this now, I'll waste... Not waste. I'll spend the next hour painting it. And that doesn't do me any good. Because I do need to start recording. And it sounds like the school kids have all been dropped off across the street. So it sounds like all the parents are gone. And I'm not hearing any trucks out there. So I should have a good hour before I have my first, like, appointment of the day. To, is that where I had that? No, I had this over here. So I should have about an hour to record before I have to go to my first appointment. Hopefully get those pickups out of the way so I can submit that and hopefully get paid. I'll get paid. It's a good client. I like working with this client. So let me get a picture of this guy here. We'll see how this works. We'll see. I'm not sure how I feel about it just yet. Although in the photo it looks pretty cool. No! Hey! Hey, stop it! Every time I go take the photo, it decides it wants to focus on the background. There. Oy. Alright, so I've got... Alright, two really crappy photos. We're going to delete them. Alright, I got him. Which one's the better one here? Let's see. That one's okay. That one's the better one. So we're going to go ahead and delete this one. All right, so I'm going to post those on my Instagram and on the Twitter. Oh, in a little bit. Yeah. So, all right. So what did we learn today? We learned I need to be better at positioning myself right here. So that way, things that I'm painting are actually showing up on the stream. On the screen, I need to see... I want to see if there's a way to zoom in. I'm sure there is, but that's fine. The big learning, though, is... Ow, leg cramp. The big learning is to make sure that I am right here. Learning number 2 is to see about setting up some kind of alert system. So if someone is actually watching or if someone is chatting, it's making a little tone or something, if that's possible. So that way I can actually look up from what I'm doing and not hyper-focus on it. Move this. I got to find a different place for this because I knocked over my cup of water yesterday or over the weekend walking out of my booth. All over the floor. I was not pleased with myself. Yeah. And tomorrow... My hope is tomorrow, it won't be here in the morning, so tomorrow at some point in the afternoon, I'm going to solder up the... oh, here's another learning. I need to put a different scene in here so I can switch it over to the other camera a little more seamlessly. But I'm going to be working on this. I'm hopefully going to have this set up for Wednesday's stream. And... So, the question becomes, do I keep painting with the minis? Do I just keep on with that? Or do I move on to a different project in the morning? Because the projects I have coming in is Ivan Martino, otherwise known as Viking Goat, and I are kind of collaborating on a little thing that I designed for him, and then he gave me some notes on it, so we're working to see if we can make it work in a feasible way. So maybe I'll tinker around on Tinkercad tomorrow. Yeah, I might do that. Well, hang on. I'm thinking this out loud. That guy's going to need highlights. So that's what will happen tomorrow, is I'll do the highlighting on that, and then when I'm done with that, rather than starting another project, start playing on Tinkercad. That is what I will do. And yeah. Cool. Anywho, I'm going to bolt. It is 8:59. I got a few things I need to do as my day gets started here, or whatever, seeing as how I've been up since 1 in the morning. But yeah, Face On, thank you for tuning in, for joining me for a few minutes this morning. I truly appreciate it. Yeah. And